What's up, y'all? It's your boy JSenpaiXStories here, and before the video begins, honestly, I want to do a huge Patreon kind of announcement change sort of thing, I suppose. First off, we have to be completely honest right now. Patreon is slowly but surely kind of have a little bit of a stacked sections of stuff, honestly. But I'm going to change it up for you. If you are any level of tier on Patreon, if you want to see some Koikatsu lewds and teases, you will get Koikatsu lewds and teases. The way it's going to be done is that if you are any level of tier and is an original character, you will see some good ass content. You will see some good ass content when it comes to original characters. But if you want to see, you know, characters like Konako or Rias or Modaka or whoever the hell you like, that will definitely be the $7 tier on up. Also changing it to $7 now because I feel like maybe 13 might be just a bit too expensive. Maybe, but there's a way of how I'm gonna balance that too. You will get Koikatsu loot videos, meaning you will get some sexy ass positions in motion. There's also, because in the works, there is a Hiyoko twerking video that I gotta put out. Actually, it's a 1-minute loop, but it's gonna be a nice 1-minute loop, and that's for the $30 tier. That's gonna be for the $30 tier, if I'm being completely honest, because that's kind of a lot for me to do. Not to mention, it takes a very long time to render videos out from Koikatsu itself, because I'm not doing an OBS, I'm using literal Koikatsu recorder, so that's just how it is. Also, my laptop, poor damn thing, it doesn't want to keep working that hard, honestly, for me when it comes to making those type of recordings in Koikatsu. So that's also why it's strictly and only $30 when it comes down to it. So yeah, just to run it back again, when it comes to OC characters, it will be for any level Patreon member, whether it's teases or whether it is some actual scenes and stuff that goes down. That is lewd. And when it comes to the, you know, characters that I never created, like Modaka and Konako and whatever, those are going to be for the 13. That's going to be the $7 tier on up. When it comes to videos, that is going to be the $30 tier and only the $30 tier. That's only going to be the $30 tier. Like, they need something special, honestly. So that's going to be reserved for them only. Again, it's going to be a Hiyoko twerking video. So hopefully you'll be able to enjoy said thing. One other thing too, it is close to the end of the month, so if you would like to be a Patreon member, you're gonna have to quickly hurry up because, you know, it is close to the end of the month. There's not that many days left, and you know, especially if you would like to get some extra scenes, if you know, join now, I could definitely work you in with some commissions if you would like to, especially some sexy ass wallpaper. So that's just how it is. So especially if you join now, so that's just also how that's gonna be. Y'all already know what the deal is. We have to bring back the JSenpaiXStories, honestly, because it's been a minute, honestly. Definitely, it just rough, and it's honestly affecting my recording to the point I don't really, you know, want to kind of do things anymore. But I know I can't let that, you know, slide within me, because if that happens, then pretty much depression kicks in, and let's not have that to happen, honestly. So that's one thing that does not need to happen. And also, and what I mean by it affects my recording, definitely, is that I had to do double takes of recording. This is a double take of that very same recording of this episode, because the volume was way too low, and for whatever reason I wasn't talking loudly enough because I was a head ass. So, you know, that's just how it is. So definitely, just again, if you can be patient with me, please be patient with me, and I'll try to do my best to get these episodes out as good and fast as I can. Only time will tell if I'll be able to continue doing this because of, you know, bills, but that's just how that's gonna be though. But besides all that sad stuff, let's just go ahead and talk about episode 9 of what we got here. But before that, episode 8, obviously, a lot of things happened. Major things happened. Kaede is now dead, and you know, Mukuro is not really understanding what side of the argument of things she should be on, honestly, and it's just getting really chaotic and really not so good when it comes down to a lot of this stuff that's happening. And Tenko turns into a pet, by the way. Completely forgot that Tenko turned into a pet, but That's what happens when you're getting locked in with despair. And when Jay just breaks into your house, be careful. If you don't hit that like button, he's gonna break into your house and you'll turn into a pet too. But that's neither here or there. So when episode 9 kicks in, you know, with Mukuro being kinda not so knowing what to do, you're thinking, okay, so, you know, Mukuro is gonna just stay with Junko, she's gonna side with Junko, right? Not really. At this current point in time, Mukuro's kinda just like, you know what? Maybe I should side with Jay, you know? Maybe I should. I'm low-key tired of getting the abuse of Junko. I'm ready to see what I can do with, you know, Jay over here. So let's just see what happens. And then immediately, because she thought to do that, and she actually went to the student council office, Jay was just holding a gun at her. Like, just straight up, like, ready to blast, because Kaede is dead. It sucks. It is how it is. I mean, granted, the man is a bit unhinged right now. Kaede was a dime piece, and she's dead yet again. So don't really blame him for holding a gun right up to Mukuro's face. I'm just being completely honest. This man just like, she killed Kaede. You think I'm okay with that? And so Blue just trying to come in just like, yo, just like, hey, calm down for a second. She ain't saying nothing, but she's like, calm down for a second. And Mukuro's obviously like, I didn't know she was planning that. Besides, I wasn't there the whole time, if you recall, because obviously Mukuro wasn't there at the beginning, because Toga was there trying to take down Junko, and then she popped up. So obviously, and that was mainly because she was pondering whether or not she wanted to be on Junko's side or be on Jay's side. And you know, that's just how it is. And I'm just like, sure you aren't, because I know your uppity bitch ass was somewhere, you know, not being around Junko at the time. Like, and so Mukuro is just still trying to calm him down, but at the same time she's like, I want to help you, but I won't give up my sister. And she starts taking off her clothes, and she's like, use me if you want. I've been questioning if I should stay with Junko, but I don't think I should. And she actually just like, bitch, are you for real? Our friend died, and you think this is forgivable? Jay just like, everyone leave the room, besides Mukuro. Leave her with me. And everybody was reluctant to do so, but they did. And the moment they did, Jay took off his clothes and roughly started to F Mukuro, completely trying to do her in a very harsh way. But granted, he's not in his despair state while he's doing this. He's essentially just effing her out of anger because of what happened to Kaede. When the finishing of the smashing was done, Jay just went up and left the room. He didn't even care what happened to Mukuro at that point. She was just laying there on the damn floor, basically just having nut all through her mouth and everything. And just pretty much Jay just dipped. Now we have to go to Act 2. And with Act 2, the same time where Jay and Mukuro are pretty much just, you know, at odds at each other. It's the same time where Junko is in the bathroom dealing with Mikan. Mikan trying to heal her up and patch her up, honestly. Keep that in mind. So, when it comes down to everything, Mikan is just like, okay, that should hold for now. And Junko was in the bathroom, obviously getting patched up. And Junko is just like, to think Jay got someone to get close to me is ridiculous. And the fact Mukuro isn't here is another annoyance. Mukuro can't be trusted. She's been compromised. And that's just completely, without her even realizing anything, Junko just already thinking that. That's kind of wild. But she does have a point to be suspicious of Mukuro, even if she is kind of jumping the gun, but it's not that far-fetched to think that Junko would actually legitimately jump the gun on certain things. Like, for her, getting bored is the most despairing thing on her mind that she doesn't want. So, of course, why not jump the gun and assume some shit? Like, that's what she does. Anyway, Junko also goes on to say, although, if he can plant things, then I will plant things myself. And she does that while just straight up looking at Mikan in this whole ass weird scenario here. So later, Mikan goes to Jay and talks about Junko with him. And essentially, she's just like, I did heal her, but I didn't know what was going on. And so I'm just like, and now you don't know where she is. Like, just being completely upset with this because it's all in the same damn day. I don't think anybody would be focusing on anything if you just saw one of your best friends end up getting yeeted and then still trying to operate in the same damn day. I'm just being perfectly honest with you. And so Mikan is just like, no, she left without saying anything. I didn't even get a word in, honestly. And so Mikan is just also like, if I see her, I'll be sure to tell you. And I'm just like, good. I don't need to tell you how she is. You have memories of the game, so you know she's dangerous. For whatever reason, my head started to hurt, but I was doing my best to hold back that despair because I was so not down for that to happen right now. And so Mikan already got the details ran through her. She pretty much stripped out of her clothes and just like, you know, it's about that time, isn't it? Like, is it the despair? Because I can't help you, honestly. Like, look at all this. Look at all this. These fat jugs aren't here for show. And so essentially, even though as good as it would be to clap Mikan, my ass is like, no, because I'm just not in the mood right now. I just want Junko dead. I just want her dead. I want to put her underwater and then just hold her down and so she doesn't move. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and throw her ass off a cliff because that's what she deserves. But for now, I can hold back my own despair. I don't want to do anything with some type of smashing session. So Mikan just out here looking depressed like she's a, you know, lost child out here. And that's just disappointment for her because she really wanted the D. But she's like understanding and she's like, alright. And so at this point, because I'm just feeling super done, I'm just like, I think I'm just gonna go home, honestly. Because after today, I think I need some time off. So that just ends up being how it is, unfortunately, because just too much has happened today. So 2 weeks passes later, and now we get into Act 3. We're back in the student council office, and now we're about to talk to Toko. And Toko's basically talking to us about needing money for a field trip. The budget needs to be increased because we don't have the funds for it. And essentially Toko's just like, we need to ask Ms. Saritome for a budget increase for the field trip. And while Toko is going on about that, at this point I'm still mentally checked out. Like, that makes the both of us, honestly. And honestly, I'm just looking at Toko and just still thinking about Kaede, because Kaede shouldn't have went out the way she did. And essentially I'm just like, Toko, I don't even know anymore. I still can't believe she's gone. I didn't even get to talk to her a lot. And so I'm just like, if I could just have spent more time with her, maybe I could have protected her from Junko. And Toko just come out of the blue just like, N-word, shut up. And I'm just like, huh? And so Toko goes on to be like, you still on about Kaede's death? Get over it. She's not coming back, so you need to focus on what's ahead. And so I'm just like, how can you say that? Don't you care that she died? That shouldn't even happen. And so Toko just like, did you forget who you're talking to, bitch? Did you forget? I got 4 eyes, but I only need 2 to cut your ass up with these damn scissors. Anyway, but Toko is like, did you forget who you're talking to? Of course I care about Kaede, but what's the point now? Need I remind you where I come from? The killing game was horrible. I hated every moment of it. And people didn't make it. But did you think we had time to dwell on our losses? Nah. We had to keep going. My point is, we lost people, but obviously lingering on the past isn't changing the future. Yes, she's gone now, but the biggest disgraceful thing you can do now is dwell on her passing. You're right. I didn't want her to die again, but it did happen. I thought in this world I could save her, but apparently not. And for her sake, I'm gonna take Junko down, and I'm gonna keep everybody safe. And so Toko just looking at me like, boy, look at you acting all tough now. I'm just like, I'm being serious, lady, with your four-eyed head ass. Need I remind you, you the only asshole out here be drooling over Byakuya, spewing out nut shots every single time in the damn game of UDG. Like, can we remind you of that shit? Anyway, Toko is just like, if you ever need a shoulder to lean on, I'm here for you. Besides, as your secretary. And then Toko just straight up takes off her clothes at that point. She's just like, I need to take care of my president. And I'm like, Toko, hold on, when did you start being lewd? That's the one thing you don't necessarily do. But she ain't answered the question, she just dragged my ass over to the floor. And so she's starting to get on top of me, and just like, I'm not letting her have you today. You belong to me now, so fill up this old musty hag. And essentially just started riding me cowgirl style. Okay. I mean, I'm not saying no. It came out kind of out of nowhere, but I'm taking it. Anyway, Toko and I were just straight up effing so dang hard. We were so immersed into it to the point we didn't even notice our surroundings. So when we was mid effing each other, honestly, that's when Mikan just popped in. And she didn't do much. All she did was just stand at the door and pretty much was just like in her mind just thinking about Junko. And that is where the story ends off for here. So granted, I know this one doesn't feel like much happened in it, but guarantee you, but I'm straight up telling you, we're getting to the good stuff. I'm just trying to get to honestly point A to point B, but still things are going to happen within the next episode. Episode 10 is definitely going to be the start of some madness, and then episode 11 is definitely going to be the madness, and then episode 12 is also going to be the madness, which will also then finally kick off into season 2 of this amazing series. Also, let me know, what should I name this arc, honestly? Because this arc doesn't feel like it should be called a Vtuber arc, honestly. I only called it that because I have a model, and that's really what's happening with the channel, because, you know, I'm a Vtuber now. But definitely, I feel like this arc should be called something else. It should be called something a bit better than that. I don't know. I'll leave that to you in the comments below. Also, in the future of this series, there will be a decision where it's going to be based on you guys about where the story should head next. But we'll get to that when we get to that. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this one. If you did, be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification on your way out. Also follow me on Twitter, TikTok, and like to donate to the channel. Patreon and Ko-Fi is available as well. And until then, this is your boy Jay, signing off. Have a blessed day.
Baby, say my name as if you got a fucking clue. Always caught up in the moment, not condoning what I do. I've been messing with my chemistry to find the better me, putting thoughts up on the page in hopes that you could get to me. Been this way since legit, my brain couldn't quit. Running from my issues, roll the pain in a spliff, fade away every hit. Nobody needed me, too afraid to commit.